Imagine a world without classrooms, no school bells, no homework, no exams. For most of human history, children learned directly from their families and communities how to hunt, farm, build, trade, survive, and tell stories. Then humanity invented something that changed everything: writing. And once writing appeared, knowledge could be stored, but someone had to learn how to read it. And that's where the first schools began to emerge. More than 4,000 years ago, in ancient Mesopotamia, cities such as Ur and Babylon developed complex societies. They needed people who could keep records, who owned the land, how much grain was stored, who owed taxes, how many animals belonged to the temple. The answer was written on clay tablets, and suddenly, knowing how to write became extremely valuable. Special schools emerged to train scribes. But here's where the history becomes uncomfortable. The earliest formal education was not designed for everyone. It was largely connected to the needs of temples, governments, and wealthy families. If you became a skilled scribe, you could enter a powerful profession. But ordinary farmers and laborers usually had very different lives. Education was a privilege. Knowledge was power. And those who controlled knowledge could control administration, wealth, and information. Ancient school wasn't exactly the comfortable classroom we know today. Students were expected to memorize enormous amounts of information. They copied signs again and again. They learned mathematics, language, accounting, and writing. And discipline could be harsh. Ancient texts even contain references to students being punished for mistakes or disobedience. The classroom wasn't just about learning, it was about obedience. Centuries later, ancient Greece developed its own educational traditions. And this is where another important transformation happened. Education wasn't only about writing records anymore. Greek thinkers connected education with philosophy, mathematics, music, physical training, and citizenship. But Greek society was also deeply unequal. In Athens, education varied enormously, depending on social status. And in Sparta, education became something far more frightening. In ancient Sparta, boys entered a state-controlled training system known as the agoge. From a young age, they were trained to become soldiers. They endured physical hardship. They were taught discipline. They learned to obey orders. The purpose wasn't simply to make them educated. It was to create warriors capable of defending. Sparta. For Spartan boys, childhood itself became military preparation. The Romans later developed a more recognizable educational structure. Children from families who could afford it might study reading, writing, mathematics, literature, and rhetoric. Teachers became professionals. Students memorized texts. And wealthy Roman families understood something important. Education could create social mobility. But again, access depended heavily on wealth and status. School was still far from universal. After the Western Roman Empire collapsed, education in Europe changed dramatically. For centuries, religious institutions became major centers of formal learning. Monasteries and cathedral schools preserved manuscripts and trained clergy. The classroom became a place where religious texts, Latin, philosophy, and theology were studied. But once again, education was largely reserved for particular groups. The majority of ordinary people remained illiterate. Then came the transformation. As governments became more centralized and societies industrialized, states increasingly wanted populations that could read, calculate, follow standardized rules, and participate in modern economies. During the 18th and 19th centuries, compulsory education expanded across parts of Europe, and eventually, around the World School, began to look familiar. Rows of desks, teachers, timetables, examinations, grades, and eventually, school bells. So, who invented school? There was no single inventor. The idea evolved. Ancient Mesopotamians created some of the earliest known formal institutions for training scribes. Greeks developed philosophical and civic education. Romans organized broader systems of instruction. Medieval religious institutions preserved and transmitted knowledge. And modern governments transformed schooling into something increasingly universal and compulsory. But here's the darker truth. School was never only about knowledge. Throughout history, education has also been connected to power. Who gets educated? What are they taught? Who controls the curriculum? And what kind of person is society trying to create? From the first clay tablet, dot, to the modern classroom, the history of school is also the history of power, discipline, knowledge, and control. And perhaps the strangest part is this. The classroom you're sitting in today is the result of more than 4,000 years of human history. We think school was created to teach us what we need to know. But history asks a darker question. Who decided what we needed to know in the first place, and why? Before you go, don't let this story end here. Smash that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and share this video with someone who needs to see it. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because the next story will be even more shocking. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.